give you a pull. '94 Chevrolet Corvette C4 generation with a 6-speed manual transmission. Would you believe that about 3/4 of these cars were actually optioned with an automatic transmission? Now, I have reviewed a C4 ZR1 on the channel before. It looked so sick with the aero that was added to it. The car looked money, but it had a lot of issues with the brakes and with the engine that left me feeling like I didn't get to properly experience what the C4 is all about. So this one is actually a base, however, it has a few mods, such as Z51 suspension, except for the sway bars, but the actual dampers and the springs are here. We also have refreshed bushings and a mild cam on the engine with a tune. And surprisingly, RT660 rubber, and that's a 275 section width all around. Now the C4 is powered by the 5.7 liter naturally aspirated pushrod V8, the LT1, making 300 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 340 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. But again, we're making a little bit more with that mild cam and tune. Now this LT1 engine was actually first introduced in 1992. That was the new version of the 5.7 liter pushrod V8, which was known as the LT1. The prior base model C4 Corvettes actually used the 5.7 liter L98 or L83 engines, which made between 205 and 250 horsepower. The ZR1, on the other hand, made 375 to 405 horsepower, but definitely not the example I drove. That thing was pushing out maybe like 250. Now, the 1994 model year brought updates to the interior, including a 2-spoke steering wheel, which was replaced by a Momo aftermarket wheel in this example, new door panels, redesigned seats, and a passenger airbag. Also, the LT1 engine received mass airflow, or MAF, and a sequential port fuel injection, also known as SFI, and these systems would improve the engine's responsiveness, idle quality, and drivability. The car weighs in just above 3,300 pounds. We have double wishbone in the front and multi-link rear suspension with leaf springs, of course, which is how the Chevy team has done it for the Corvette for the longest time until recent times. I do still absolutely love this interior. It feels so like 80s retro cool. A little bit of a rougher idle, a little bit of that vibration, that's due to the mild cam. Got the handbrake on this side, just like an Aston Martin. Seat adjustments are here. It's just a really cool retro interior. You also can tilt this, like so, using this incredibly long stock here to adjust something as minor as the tilt on the wheel. I feel like I'm sitting way too high up. This visor is almost at my eye line, and my head is not even an inch away from the top here. Man, these cars are so retro cool. This already feels a lot healthier than that ZR1 that I drove. Love the pushrod V8 sound and character. Oh, I forgot that the traction is super aggressive. It actually, you can feel the throttle pedal move in and out. So you just press that, ASR off. Now we should be good. Obviously, older traction control systems were not very sophisticated. They were overly aggressive. Lots of body roll. You can feel and hear a lot of chassis flex as well. This isn't a proper hardtop. And the technology and chassis engineering has come a long way since the early 90s. Wow, a lot of cow shake. And it feels a lot more than 3,300 pounds. It's a very long car. You can feel a lot of that weight over the front. It's not eager to change direction. But man, does it have this vibe to it, this late 80s, early 90s kind of American cool. Steering is hydraulic, but it's not really talking to me as much as I would expect. Also, a little bit of play to the wheel. The ratio isn't actually as slow as I would expect, because normally with older cars, they have very slow ratios. But here it feels actually modern with the steering ratio. There's that bit of slop at the front end. Reduces your level of confidence. All the pedals and all the inputs have these very long throws. The clutch, you actually want to sit further away based on how you position your right foot for the throttle and the brake. But the clutch has these very long throws. Medium weighted clutch, very high engagement point though, and not as precise in terms of feeling where that engagement point is. Let's give you a pull. RPM red line. You want to start braking very early for corners because of the heft here. And the brakes, they're a lot better than in that ZR1, which you'd press a mile deep, they'd be super soft and wouldn't slow you down that much. These feel a lot better. These are operating properly, but still, older technology, not inspiring the most confidence. It's a car that you're not really gonna want to push beyond 6 or 7 tenths. But the nice thing is that it's still a lot of fun even below the limit. You have this very characterful, very present and very forward LT1 engine. The transmission feels surprisingly modern, very mechanical, very notchy, and not a lot of lateral slop. Look at how tight this is. Also keep in mind, this is an excellent example. The owner mentioned that this would probably go for about 10 to 12K on the market. And I'm sure that the prior owners and him are very good about their 303 aerospace protected because the interior looks exceptional for 30 plus years old. Little double clutch there in a second. Ooh, can feel the brakes kicking in with ABS there. A little prematurely, I would argue. Like a little bit more GT than full-on sports car, but it's a lot of fun to drive actually. I feel like I'm in one of those old movies like Robocop or something. I love the interior on these things. I think they have such a unique design. There's nothing else quite like this. I mean, look at how big the gauges are, how they're displayed. You have the digital speed in the middle. What other cars were doing that in 1994? Very rare. And then you have these other smaller gauges stacked in this way. Very interesting gauge cluster. Throttle response is a little bit, I'm not going to say sluggish, it just requires a jab, right? It's still naturally aspirated, very immediate with the throttle. You just have to jab it a little bit harder. As with most of the inputs. Greater throws. Same thing with the transmission, like, it feels very modern. It's a little bit lower resistance than I was expecting. Or lower effort, I should say. But the throw length itself is actually quite long, which feels time period appropriate, right? Because in the early to mid 90s, we didn't have these really sharp front ends or really firm minimal travel pedals with a lot of feedback and resolution. The transmissions back then were also requiring a greater distance. But man, for only $10,000 to $12,000, this is pretty fun. This is actually great. Now, the actual chassis, yes, there's a lot of flex. The suspension with the leaf springs, not the most sophisticated. The trade-off between ride comfort and body control is not great. Like, you're feeling all the, it's still a comfortable ride, but you're still feeling a good amount of the harshness from the bumps as well. And you're not having great body control. But that's like, again, this is a car that's close to stock from 1994, and for $10,000 to $12,000, it's hard to really complain about these things. It almost more feels like just part of the vibe and the character of a car from this era, rather than major shortcomings. Time for another pull. right here. Little bit excess motion after the bump, but that's okay. We're not going to nitpick here. Whenever you're driving a car, you have to ask yourself, how does it encourage you to drive it, right? Like, there are certain cars that egg you on to drive them hard. There are other cars that make you feel like you want to relax and take it easy. This is a car that makes you want to drive like 6 or 7 tenths. It's a lot of fun at that range. If you start pushing it harder, then yes, it's going to start falling apart in the sense that you don't have that level of confidence, that sophistication in terms of engineering to push it harder with confidence. And when you're driving too slow, you're like, oh man, I want to rev this engine out, because this is like very much America naturally aspirated pushrod V8. And it's a cool car, guys. I gotta say, I'm a fan. Let me know what you think of this C4 Corvette. Big shout out to the owner, Jeremy, for letting me review his car. Shout out to Fenton for the Zygreen channel as well. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you all in that next one. Also, when you turn the engine off, it's like this old style where it's like a couple steps there to, you know, twist to press the button. All part of the 80s and 90s charm. I mean, even the door handles, like, look at that. So cool.